Friends, are you able to hear me? First,
Yes, we can hear you now.
earlier you are not able to hear me.
Yeah, we couldn't. Right now, we are able to hear you.
Okay, then I will go. Sorry, I didn't check it out. So Maharana Pratap Singh, the birth date was 9th May and 19th January. When he was 56 years old, he passed away. His height is 7 feet and 5 inches. Some people say 7 feet 6 inches. And he has a horse. He is very fond of horse. And his horse will be having a mask of an elephant. Why it is, I will tell you later. Generally, Rajput were recognized for their bravery, faithfulness, and royalty. Rajput enjoyed their eminence or fame during 6th to 12th centuries. Rajput started using the title Singh instead of their own nickname called Varman because Singh signified courage. So they would like to be known as courageous leaders. So courageous leaders, if you see, they make decisions with the potential of revolutionary change in the governance. Totally different type of governance they would like to do it. And that's the reason they are known for it. Their boldness inspires their members, energizes their team members, and position their kingdom as leaders in the societal change. Even today, we have a battalion called Rajput Battalion, which is supposed to be a highest things for the bravery. Courage is neither an intellectual quality nor it can be taught in the classroom. It can be gained through multiple experiences involving personal risk taking. It is not courage to say somebody you jump. Here, before he says that he will do it, that is the reason called courageous leaders. So he is leading from the front. Okay. So courage comes from the heart of the individual. So he developed the people, everybody will be like him. Okay. So patriotism, courage, valor, and self-respect and a strong love for independence make Maharana Pratap Singh as a great leader even today. To the best of my knowledge, he was the longest Rajput king who fought for Akbar. Other than Maharana Pratap Singh, all other people have surrendered themselves to Akbar and they became a councillor or council minister for their Akbar's court. Whereas Maharana Pratap Singh refused to be that. The only reason is he don't want to lose his liberty. He says that losing a liberty for any honor is unworthy. That's the reason he was very adamant and he was sticking to his position and fighting for 25 years. Beautiful portion of Maharana Pratap Singh is he always carry two swords. Total weight of the two swords is 208 kg and he will carry one spear. Weight of that is 80 kg. Okay. In addition to this, he had a body armor weighing around 72 kg. And since he is a strong built person, his weight itself is around 125 kg and above. So totally approximately around 495 kg and above was his total weight. And with this weight, he would love to go in a horse because the flexibility horse offers him in the battlefield. Okay, with this height, he could use only a single stroke. He can cut open the enemy vertically. That means here you can see Maharana Pratap cut Khan along with horse into two pieces in the battle of Haldigarh. So in this battle, along with Mansingh, other Khan came to fight, who were representative of Akbar, but this is how he got killed. Because of this, no, Maharana Pratap Singh is known for his courageous and fearful opponent for most of the Mughal people. And here is a document proof where we have taken this information about weighing. So imagine somebody can use approximately around 300 kg of items and he will carry it and use two swords. It's really very, very tough. That's the way he built his body. Not only him, all his people are also like that. May not be the weight to that level, but he has ensured that all the bodyguards will have the spear and swords with their place. And he is always fond of horses, and this is a statue available in his museum. And always he uses a horse to fight with the elephants. Here, his favorite horse, known as Chetak. Now we are talking about Chetak. Many of you may know about the Bajaj scooter. A brand name is Chetak. So the original name of Bajaj Chetak came from this horse only. This Chetak horse has a, I told you earlier, elephant mask. Okay, it will lift its leg and keep it on the forehead of an elephant, however the big elephant is. So that is that capabilities. One war, in this war I was just telling you, he was trying to hit the Khan, where you are seeing it, no? Some Mughal, what do you call, army chief was trying to help them. So many times they came and attacked them, and every time they got punished by Maharana Pratap Singh. He uses a guerrilla war. He attacks and run away. In this situation, what happened is he was caught and his horse got wounded. One leg was wounded by this horse. Even then, this horse took Maharana from this field. 5 kilometers it ran and crossed a canal which has a width of 22 feet, and he died, safeguarding his master. So even today, if you go to Rajasthan, you can see Chetak, that is horse statue will be there, and the place where it got jumped also is kept as a memorial. He always respected other religion people, and he respected once his son Amar Singh brought a Mughal lady who was captured when they lost the war. Okay. And immediately he ordered Amar Singh to ensure that the safe return of that Mughal lady. So this makes Rajput, that is Maharana Pratap Singh's fame across the entire Rajput, and everyone in the Rajput family or the Rajasthan started worshipping him like this because he had a huge respect for women and other religions also. Many times he is a revolutionary leader. I was telling you earlier, there was a tribe which is at the central India called Bhils. These people were treated as untouchables by many of the people earlier, including the king and the non-kings also. But Maharana Pratap developed a very strong relationship with all the Bhils. And in fact, they used to call him as Kika, that means a son of Bhils. And if you see the war strategies of Maharana Pratap Singh, kills, that is the Bhils will be the back end support for Maharana Pratap army. They are extremely powerful with their bow and arrow. So Maharana Pratap Singh keep his infantry at the front, horses at the back, and behind they will have supporting elephants and all. And behind all this military, some 2,000 people or 3,000 people of Bhils, that is the tribe community, who are known for their bow and arrow capability, will be safeguarding the entire army. Because of these Bhils, okay, the damage to the army of Maharana Pratap has greatly reduced. So he was able to fight a big battle when the opponent was having around 40,000 people and he was having only 14,000 people. And 14,000 people, they could win the war also. Okay. So during his many times he has to run away because the Mewar, many times he was not under this place. Many times he will be spending time in the forest, hiding away and trying to help or bring more resources and all. Because the person who was Akbar was so notorious. When you read about Akbar, we read only good portion of Akbar. Whereas here, if you read about Maharana Pratap Singh, according to the internet sources, some people even say that is a terrorist Akbar. So I do not know, but still we should accept the reality from the, because it is from the articles published in the great news magazines. Okay, so his Pradhan Mantri, who is the chief minister of his kingdom, used to support and get the revenue collected from the people and support Maharana during his period when he was in the forest also. Sometimes he has taken, you can see him how courageous and more is help dedicated person. He, after seeing the people suffering in the hands of Akbar or any Sultan, so he decided that till I remove all the Mughals from my territory, I will not eat it in silver or gold plates. I will not sleep on a sofa, and I will be, I will not trim my beard and other things also. That is that he took a oath along with his oath, his family, son, everyone was allowed to do. So they were running in the forest, hiding themselves, supported by bills, and took care of them for things. They became very weak, but even then he never lost the hope. One, only one bad qualities of Rajput is they are very bravery, but they are very poor planners. Very poor planners in the sense is they don't understand the um, battle, they don't understand the battle intelligence, and if they have given some informations and intimations about the canons, they should know about the benefits of canon, they should have get prepared. But again and again, even knowing about canons, they were not preparing themselves to handle the canons. Okay. Whereas if you see in South India, Tipu Sultan, you must be knowing about it. Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan, all those people. The moment British started using this, cannon and things, with the things, they developed missiles and rockets. Even if you go to NASA today, Tipu Sultan photo will be there because he is supposed to be the father of missiles. Okay, so what happened is they used the technology which took it from the foreigners, and they used it better than that Tipu Sultan has done it. Whereas Rajput have not done it. That was the only mistake to the best of my knowledge. But other than that, he was a great leader with respect to taking care of his people and taking care of his army men. And he used to inspire so many people. Because of that, no, everybody, not even a single person, betrayed him and went with enemies. So he has no fear, and he exhibited that he don't have any fear every time when he happened to meet everyone. Okay, because 7 times Akbar sent people to consolidate, and all the people in his Rajput area were surrendered. Okay, whereas he was the only Rajput. He refused to surrender, and he told that I will never surrender. And he is completely people-oriented man, a great leader. That is the reason he got full support. Just imagine a king, 25 years, fighting with a Mughal emperor and being popular among his team member. That's the reason he is called a great person, and he is a people-oriented man. He determined to achieve. Of course, he could not achieve the last, getting back the Mewar. He could not achieve it, but still he was determined to do it. He tried so many times, and he was half successful. He is a very good team builder, and he plays. And that's why I told you, he will always lead the team from the front. Unlike other, if you see any uh, famous, emperors, the emperors, how they get the confidence of his fellow army men is leading from the front, not like giving instructions at the back. That is the reason, even though we call many people, Mughal emperors and all these people, they never involved in the war. They used to send their lieutenant, they used to send their generals for the war, but they never involved in the wars. Very few times they were involved. Whereas all the Indian legends, I am talking about Indian legends, I am treating Mughal as not an Indian. Mughal people entered into India. Okay, all the Indian legends never used to give instruction only. They will always lead from the front. Supporting the king, the most important thing is he should have a right ministers for a good governance. Whether he is in the kingdom or he is hiding himself in the forest, the ministers used to take care of the entire people. So the governance never got affected because of availability of the king. And they were very loyal to their kings also. As I told you, he respected other religions fully and he gave full freedom for them to follow their path of praying. That's the reason Maharana Pratap Singh has ability to inspire, ignite people even today at Rajasthan. If you go anywhere in Rajasthan, you cannot miss any statue without Maharana Pratap Singh. Definitely they will have statue in most of the places. Next, we are going to see about Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So as I told you, recently BBC did a survey. Around 20 leaders were nominated. Okay, out of these 20 leaders, Maharaja Ranjit Singh became the world's favorite leader, and his vote was something around 32%, as against the second person, Winston Churchill. I think, I don't remember, who was having a vote of 12%. That is 3 times he got more vote than the Winston Churchill. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh is original first Sikh emperor. Okay, Sikh means what we think currently we call ourselves as a Punjab. It's a portion of Punjab. Majority of whatever is in Pakistan was under the Punjab territory area, because that was a unified Indian area. So when he was young, that's the reason you can see the determination of the boy's mind. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, he was telling to his mother, "Don't be impatient, mother. I shall not take only my own lands, but also finish off the intruders." That was the wordings, exact wordings given by Maharaja Pratap Ranjit Singh at the age of 11 or 10. Okay. Because what happened is, at the age of, before that, people asked him, "What do you want?" He said that my sword procures me all the destination I desire. That means he is so confident, whatever he wants, he can achieve it. And he has developed his skills. That is more important. So at the age of 10, he fought the first battle along with his father. And his father, and when he was 11, his father died. And the first attempt on his life was made when he was 13. But what happened? That Ashmat Khan was killed by Ranjit Singh during that encounter when he was 13 years old. And when he was 17, he had failed Afghanistan's Zaman Shah in the battle at the age of 17. And he never allowed any of the invasions by outside armies, particularly those arriving from Afghanistan, and established very friendly relationship for British. I will tell you the reason of friendly relation with British also. So this was the golden throne used by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh donated lot of things. In fact, some people say that he was the possessor of Kohinoor diamond, and he gifted it to Puri Jagannath temple. Okay, so again, he was the person who donated huge quantity of gold to this Amritsar Golden Temple, and renovation was done by him. So Ranjit captured Lahore when he was 20, and he crowned himself as an emperor. At the age of 20, he became an emperor. Remember, he was not a person who had gone to schools. He never studied. He knows only to read and write and talk only in their Sikh language, that is Gurmukh. Okay, in that language only he can talk and read and write. He don't know anything, but he didn't read anything. But the visionary leader had so many great qualities which you are going to see, which made him as the most popular leader of the recent times. The most important quality of him is he has 41 Europeans in his council as ministers. 41 Europeans. Okay. Those ministers, they were constantly revisiting and introducing reforms, modernization, investment into infrastructure, general prosperity of the Sikh empire. His Khalsa army, okay, includes Sikhs, Hindus, Muslims, and 41 Europeans. He never cared about any religion or any way of worshipping. He was simply giving merit only to their performance. So he chose the right people for the right jobs based on the merit and from diverse communities, which helped him to get the feeling of different people and supported him. Some people say that, okay, when Sikh majority at that time was only around 5 to 7%, okay, as against the more popular majority from different religions, still Sikh Maharaja Ranjit Singh formed a Sikh empire because of his friendly minglement with the other community and the people. So, and he was the only king British came and had a settlement, that's he called it as a treaty. They told that they know very well they cannot win Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So they signed an agreement with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Beyond Sutlej, we will not come. Similarly, they requested him not to come below the Sutlej river. Okay. Why they have done it? British is they had a plan different because he was not studying, he was not knowing anything about European history and all. British were worried about Napoleon's invasion into India. When Napoleon is invading, the only possibility for them to save is use Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And Napoleon, if you want to enter into India, the only route they know is coming through Afghanistan and Punjab. So, and where Maharaja Ranjit Singh was the emperor. So they allowed him, and that's the reason they had a friendly relationship. But Ranjit Singh knows about the capabilities of British. He never allowed anyone to enter into his. He never had. Some people say that he had some ministers of in the British people, but some historian people are confirming that he never had any British people in his ministry, but he had many Europeans in the ministry. Why he didn't choose British people, according to that investigator, he was saying that British people are not consistent and they are not trustworthy. That is the reason he didn't have them as one of the ministers. When you have 41 ministers from Europe, why can't they have? Because he never trusted British guys. Okay, even though he was not studying, he never studied, he had created a course book. In this course book, basic arithmetic and how to learn the Farsi language is also given, all the details. He ordered to print 5,000 copies and given to many landlords and with a clear instruction, see the action plan and also performance measurement. They should give back this book, reprint it, give it to the people for circulation and to report him back to whom they have given the books. So he is not giving instruction and he ensures that the feedback mechanism is closing the loop, getting that the people are knowing about how to read the book, whether it reaches to so many people. So that's a reason. Second, he was very fond of promoting art, culture, and secularism and creating access to the education. So that's the reason even after 200 years, entire Sikh community worship him like a god and still yet to see a leader like him. So if you see, Maharaja Ranjit Singh was a very aggressive leader and a visionary leader. Visionary leader in the sense is he knows very well he cannot fight with British, so he want to safeguard his people. So he told that, okay, I will not come below this because he knows that British is not interested in capturing. They are more interested in going down only. So he was ready to come to a treaty, and then they sign an agreement that you will not come to my area and I will not come to your area. That is a visionary leader protecting his, and some people say that during Mr. Maharaja Ranjit Singh period, the, the GDP, gross domestic product of Sikh empire was the highest in the world. I do not know how far it is true, but some information was there in the internet, but that's the reason I am recording it also. Most important, why he had 41 Europeans is he would like to modernize his army. Some information says that every horseman, a person who sits in the horse and goes in his army, Maharaja Ranjit Singh army, will carry 2 swords, okay, and 1 spear. In addition to this, he will also have 1 rifle. I think he is the only king who had rifles for the people at the time of fighting. And the uniforms are equivalent to European army. And complete training, he has employed generals, that is Napoleon, retired generals were trained Maharaja Ranjit Singh army. So what happens is 4 generals have trained in different period Maharaja Ranjit Singh army to ensure that not even a single person from Afghanistan could come. Later he shifted himself to Lahore and he formed the emperor, and as a capital he kept as Lahore only. He constructed many buildings in Lahore. He has done so many good things at Lahore, okay, which is currently in Pakistan. And he used all the strategies of old methods and new methods, mixing it, and uses old and new methods, which is the main reason for his success, for winning every war he went. He was never defeated in any of the wars. He was never defeated in any of the wars. Till his death, he was winning all the wars he fought. Whether he was 10-year-old, whether he was 58-year-old, till his death, all the wars he fought, he was successful. He had excellent spying team. Sometimes, why he don't, some people say that he entered into British area and found out their capabilities and decided that by fighting with British, we are going to make a huge loss. That's the reason, by creating a fear in their mind, sign a treaty. That was the agreement, and he signed it also. But that information his spies have got him, and he went with the spies. Okay, some people even say that he had a chicken pox at the earlier age. That's the reason he lost 1 eye. At the left eye was not visible. Okay, he had only 1 eye. Some people say that since he had only 1 eye, he was seeing everything with the same way. Whether he was a king, whether he were an ordinary human being, whether he were everyone, he looked at it in equal. So that's the biggest quality of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. As I told you, ministers across the world, across the religions, he had all the ministers. Many people in his court are Muslims. Many people in his court are Hindus. Many people in his court are Europeans. Many people in his court are Sikhs. So it's a combination of so many people, but all these good people ensured a good governance. Most important thing is his army, to the best of some people, they say that it was the first Indian army where the compensation was paid in cash. Paid in cash in the sense is from the treasury. Every month, salary used to be given to the all the people in his army. Okay. This is some information from the net. He also respected other religions very well. Okay, he used to give huge respect. That's why I told you, he gifted a Kohinoor diamond to Puri Jagannath temple, and he has supplied a huge quantity of gold to Maharashtra, some temple at Pune. All these things he has supplied a lot of gold. Even for his own Sikh temple at Amritsar, he has supplied a huge quantity of gold. He was always looking for upgrading and upskilling people. That's the reason he trained his army with the foreign generals. I think he is the only king who has trained Indian people with the foreign, because he wanted to say that it's nowhere inferior to anyone in the world. That was his remarks to the people. Okay. So with this, I conclude my session on Maharana Pratap Singh and Maharaja Ranjit Singh. With respect to war qualities, if you see both the people, the reason for becoming great Indian legends is, first, I will summarize from my point of view, they are people person. That's the reason, even today, the moment you go to Punjab, you talk about Ranjit Singh, people worship him like a god. Similarly, if you go to Rajasthan, you talk about Pratap Singh, people worship him like a god. Okay. They are able to inspire both. Both had a great vision. Both had a mission to achieve that vision. Okay. One was 100% successful, another was 80% successful. Okay. And they had great communication, irrespective of the education. They had great communication. And as I told you earlier, both are very courageous leaders. They fought the war from the front, not at the back. They fought the war from the front. And they ensured that every people in their kingdom live peacefully and happily. And both were respecting other religions. That was one of the most important qualities of all Indian legends. If you look out any other emperor whom we know as emperor, especially I'm talking about Mughal emperors, they were not at all liking any other religion. Whereas our Indian legends, no, they never treated any other religion as a different religion. They never showed any enmity to anyone of them. So these are the great lessons we have to learn. Because what happens is, nowadays we keep on trying that great lessons means we have to learn from other people. Not necessarily. Like, if somebody from Punjab can get more information about Ranjit Singh. Because when you see it, purposefully, lot of information is hidden, not available. Whereas if you see similarly in Maharana Pratap Singh, lot of information is hidden. Whereas if you look out, maybe it may be available in their local language. Okay, it may be available in Rajasthan, it may be available in Punjab. But for the people across the world, it is not available. The reason is British purposefully removed or destroyed the history of these people and projected that Mughal, they took it, the emperor from the Mughal. No, I am seeing it. These people are almost like bigger than Mughal emperors, and they were fighting with those people. Okay. Yeah, with this, let me end my session, and I request for question and answers. And I would request people to raise the hand, and only those persons mic will be unmuted, then we can answer to that. Thank you for your participation. Today I'm seeing a lot of name from Pune, Nasik. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Read and sincerely request, this videos will be sent to you. Please do not subscribe my YouTube channel. You please forward it to as many people as possible, because it can inspire. It can inspire a person sitting at Chennai about a story of Maharana Pratap Singh and Maharaja Ranjit Singh. How much impact it can create for the person who is sitting at Punjab, or who is in Delhi, or who is in Rajasthan. So please forward to as many people only the videos. You need not subscribe my channel. I don't want you to follow my channel at all. Any good things, or you can create your own things and give more information, more authentic, proved information. Okay, to the people. We'll be very happy to share it with all other people also. Yeah. Any questions? You can ask questions, please. If we unmute, no, there will be huge noise. That's the reason we are not unmuting. And Bavitra Ashokan. Very good. Welcome. Yes, Mr. Tanu Iyer, please.
Respected friends, my statement is not going to be a question, but the great regard for the Singhs, for the Sikh community I have, being also a student of the Khalsa College. I have come across great Sikh people who are so dedicated and sincere and who respected our Indian Hindu religion strongly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Tanu, yes, sir. Thank you so much. At the age of 88, you are attending our program regularly. I am really honored, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Giri Selvaraj.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, it's a very good lesson, sir. உண்மையிலே என்ன சொல்றது, நம்ம எல்லாத்துக்குமே வந்து ஃபாரின் கண்ட்ரிஸ் தான் நம்ம வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளா சொல்லுவோம். நம்மளுடைய இந்தியன்ஸோட விஷயங்கள் நீங்க சொல்றது வந்து இட்ஸ் வெரி இன்ஸ்பைரிங். கண்டிப்பா நீங்க சொல்ற ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து ஆத்தென்டிக்கா இருக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க. அது வந்து உண்மையா இருக்கிறது தான் நீங்க ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்றீங்க. கண்டிப்பா இட்ஸ் வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் டு அஸ், சார். தேங்க்யூ, சார்.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Giri.
தேங்க்யூ, சார்.
Yes, Mr. Gagandeep Singh. Mr. Gagandeep Singh.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Kumar sir, this is very good session by you, and even I personally like it. Because nowadays what happened, whatever our kids are learning, whatever taught in the school, and that curriculum is not exactly what has happened in past. Whatever British or other government want to teach, that is the story they are learning. In fact, there are many more people in our history who have done very wonderful things and role model that could be. And for Maharaja Ranjit Singh, yeah, in his full life or in his kingdom, nobody has been sentenced to death. That is one of the biggest achievements, whether it's enemy or anyone. And we should think that how most of the kids should know about this, our heroes. I think we should do that also. Thanks, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. See, when you read about Ranjit Singh's story, you will get so much inspired. That's why I was telling you. Maybe he was at Punjab. Okay, he was actually ruling from Lahore. Okay, such a great personality inspires a person sitting at down south. Definitely, it will inspire a lot. Yes, Mr. Venkatesh. Mr. Venkatesh.
I'm Jayashree from grade 5, and my question is any of these kings related with a god being worshipped in the Golden Temple in Amritsar?
I do not know. You are assuming that your question is whether these kings are worshipped in Golden Temple. Assuming that is your question, Sikh, they have Guru Nanak. Okay, they consider them as a supreme power and supreme god. So, and he is a messenger of to Sikh community. Anyway, our friend Mr. Gagandeep Singh will clarify to you. But Mr. Maharaja Ranjit Singh has donated a lot of money to Amritsar temple. That's information I know it. I will give it to Mr. Gagandeep Singh to answer to your questions perfectly. Mr. Gagandeep Singh, please.
Yeah, actually, in Golden Temple in our Sikh, no bodily god is there. All are worshipping Guru Granth Sahib. That is the Bani of 10 Gurus, and many Sants and Bhagat, like Sant Kabir, Bhakt Ravidas, everybody. This holy book, Guru Granth Sahib, that is only to be worshipped. No, Maharaja Ranjit Singh is not worshipped there. There is main statutory or one Akal Takht is made by Maharaja Ranjit Singh, where all decision has been taken for Sikh monks, this Jathedar, but worshipping is not done for. Only Guru Granth Sahib, all people are following.
Yes.
Teaching of Guru Granth Sahib, that is of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, up to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and sense of that time, that is there.
Thank you, Gagandeep Singh sir.
I have clarified.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Selvaraj, please. Mr. Selvaraj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Great.
Things program. Both Rana Pratap Singh as well as Ranjit Singh's story was excellent and really inspired your talk. My question is, what is the end that Pratap Singh as well as Ranjit Singh, their ending is a natural death or is by through fight, sir?
No. Both are natural deaths only.
Both
But
are-
what happened is earlier the stages. Pratap Singh died when he was 56. Ranjit Singh died when he was 58. So both are natural deaths only. They never lost their. That's the reason I'm saying that they are legends.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, if you take all the legends, the legends like Rajaraja Soran, he passed away peacefully, and Chhatrapati Shivaji passed away peacefully. Pratap Singh and Ranjit Singh, all people have died because of natural death, not because of enmity. Whereas if you see any of the Mughal emperors, most of the Mughal emperors, okay, they will be killed by their brothers or sons, like that it will. Okay.
Thank you.
That's the reason we call our Indian people as great Indian legends.
Yeah, this is really brought a very good thing regarding the lessons. Really enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There is a question given in the chat by Mr. Venugopal.
Mr. Ilangovan from Singapore, why don't you give some information, sir?
Mr. Venugopal has asked a doubt. He's got a question in the chat.
Okay, wait. I asked for Mr. Ilangovan. You unmute Mr. Ilangovan. Then I will see the chat.
Great, another useful session, Dr. PSK. Yeah, great. Yeah, it is. Though it is a faraway, kingdom, it has something, leadership qualities and how it was ruled. It's a huge mass of land, that area. I was wondering how that, Sindhu Valley Nagarigam, that is Sindhu civilization, he had any connection or during that time, what was existent? Is that area is more populated and whatever people lived? Anything there? Any information? Thank you.
Yeah, that is a very good topic, Mr. Ilangovan. According to the original theory, we can talk separately on that, but I'll give you a small brief about it. According to the original theory, civilization started in India. I do not know how many people will agree with me. That was the theory, I believe it. Civilization started in India. People, earlier you must be knowing about it, no? India and had this side, Australia, that side connected with Africa. That's called Lemuric, or what do you call Kumarikandam in Tamil. Okay, if you Google it, you can find it out. There is a strong evidence and proof. So many people throughout the world are proving it. So the human first born at Africa, they civilized in India. India means, especially people say that Tamil Nadu, South India. That time it is not Tamil Nadu, it is South India. And from there, the people migrate to different parts of the world. That's the reason if you see, even if you go to Germany, I did a separate research on it. We will talk on some other day. There are many cities in Germany has Tamil names. Even in China, we have many cities in Tamil names. Even in Europe, many cities are in Tamil names. Okay, it's a huge proof confirming that the people spread out from India. Okay, some people moved out to the Sindhu. Okay, so now the proof what we got it at Kiradi, which is older than the civilization of Sindhu River, and it is proving it. And that time they had connection with European, they had connection with Chinese. Now we are getting a proof. Now if we do more and more research, the problem is only thing is it was not documented and it was not recorded and it was not maintained. That was the reason. Many things, no, it was not documented. We will talk separately on this subject one time, sir. Thank you for your question. Yeah, Mr. Venugopal asked, all these great legends didn't plan their follower. No. Amar Singh was a follower, a son of Pratap Singh. He's a great emperor. Second, similarly, Ranjit Singh also had his son. Of course, he had many wives. Let us not get into the personal life of people. So there was people, they had a plan, and what happens is a leader, like what happens today, a leader is not created. Leader is developed himself. Like Dhirubhai Ambani was not created. He developed himself. Okay. Dhirubhai Ambani had two sons. Both got same amount of money. But what happens? One son is doing very well, another son is not doing good. I will give a small example of Ratan Tata ji. Ratan Tata ji, we call him as Tata Motors chairman. Okay, Ratan Tata ji. So he was very fond of getting into passenger car division. So he started passenger car. I am talking about before Indica. Okay, many times he come out with the things. Finally, his dream project, the car came, but the car project didn't take off well. They didn't make a sufficient profit. So sometimes he decided to sell this entire business to Ford. So entire team, the top officials of Ratan Tata ji, along with Ratan Tata, flew to Detroit and met the Ford owner. He's also some Ford, I forget, Bill Ford, I don't remember the exact name. Okay, and he was so much humiliated. The Ford has humiliated him. You don't know anything about passenger car market. Why you entered into passenger car market? You burnt. By buying your company, I am going to do a big favor for you. All this humiliation. Ratan Tata ji didn't reply to anything. He waited for the discussions to get over. After that, they returned but hotel, and that day night itself, they took the chartered flight and came to Mumbai. He didn't go for the second round of discussions because of the humiliation. Here comes the great Indian lessons we have to learn from Indian legends. Definitely, Ratan Tata ji is a legend. 15 years after that, 15 years after he was humiliated by Ford, 15 years after that, in the meantime, Tata Motors has become one of the very popular company in the world, not in India, in the world. Okay, and they were wanting to buy Land Rover and Jaguar brands of Ford. Now the same Ford, along with his team, flew into Mumbai, okay, to meet Ratan Tata ji. Okay, then if you want to take a revenge, he could have taken a revenge like this, no? The same way he can humiliate the person. And he didn't do anything. He welcomed and had a discussions. That time, the Ford himself has admitted, is you are doing a big favor to me by buying our divisions. We are unable to sell these divisions because you are doing a favor in buying this division. And he said, he simply uttered a word, thank you. He didn't say anything other than the business. He didn't show anything of revenge, what he was. The same person has done to him 15 years before. But today, if you see Land Rover and Jaguar, they are the most successful brands of Tata Motors, not only in India, but also in abroad. So here comes the Indian legend. That's the reason the quality he built. So you have seen it now when the corona affected, I don't know how many people got the information. Okay, he told to the Prime Minister, I will give my entire property to fight it in case if you don't have money. 1 lakh, that he has given 1,500 crore, and he has admitted in the press, if you want more money to support it, and if you don't have money, I am ready to sell off my entire property and give it for India. That's the greatness of a legend. That's the reason people call him as a legend. No, how many? I was in Bombay when terrorist attack happened at this place, Taj. I was in Powai. I have seen how the people loved him so much. He took care of the entire family of the people who worked in Taj. So that's different level. When we want to talk about Tatas, we can talk separately. Yes, there was another question from Dr. Ashokan. What is the common good qualities you see with Maharana Pratap Singh and Ranjit Singh and Rajaraja Cholan? All three people are visionary. All three people had a great mission. All three people had a way to achieve it. They increased their capabilities. All three people, if you take, including Shivaji also, if you take him, all the legends, no, they had planned. That's the reason I couple it with the whatever was told in the Cambridge University or Harvard University. Whatever the leadership qualities are remain same. They may call it in different name, but all these things were already exhibited by our people 1,000 years before. Sometimes you can go to Karigal Cholan, even 2,000 years before. So all great Indian legends had exhibited these things. Okay, so the good qualities, if you say it, you need to have a feel for your people. You should have a vision, and you should respect all religions, and you should be a good human being. You've seen this, Maharana Pratap Singh. If I tell about Chatak story, it will be a big story. Okay. Chatak, that is the horse which he used to ride, which saved him, and Maharana Pratap grew together. The Chatak was bought by Maharana's father when it was very young. Both used to grow together. The love and affection, that's the reason. Otherwise, how you can expect an animal to carry a half ton, 500 kg, and run when especially one leg was broken, running for 5 kilometers, saving his paws, and jumping 22 feet canal. You just try with any horse in the world. Maximum, I have checked up, maximum possible distance a horse can jump was only 12 feet. Double, almost double, the horse has jumped. It's a record. It is there. It is given there. So that's the reason I'm saying that being human and respecting not only the religion, respecting all other things. Like you have seen Ranjit Singh. He is also fond of horses. Okay, a lot of elephants. So all great qualities are common. Hope I answered you, Dr. Ashokan. Thanking you, nice lecture about our leaders, logging early during question session as I need to attend the guest. Okay.
Mr.
Yeah, any other questions?
Mr. Iyer has raised his hand.
Mr. Iyer, yes sir, you can answer it, sir.
Yeah, it's not really a question again. I forgot to add that when I was the president of the Indian Vegetarian Congress, I was invited by the Namdari Sikh leader to visit Punjab, and he personally took me around all the important cities, and they are 100% vegetarians. Therefore, I had a great regard and respect for them, and you identify them because they wear their white colored dress in contrast to other Sikhs. The respect for the Sikhs has ever been growing in me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes. Rajamani, sir, you are from joining from Madurai. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. Why don't you?
Kumar, sir.
Yes, sir.
You are doing very good, but I have only appreciation for you, not any other question to ask with you. That's all.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And you are also doing a great job. Spread the message, sir, that our people should read more of Mahindra Kothari sir from Nasik. Why don't you say some few words, sir? Mahindra Kothari sir. Okay. He is little, maybe he will join. In the meantime, we'll ask for the new people who have come. Khushbu Singh. Can you unmute Mrs. Khushbu Singh and take the feedback from them? Kindly give your feedback, ma'am. Yeah, you can tell, ma'am, whatever you, even if you tell it in Hindi, we can understand a little bit. We want your feedback. Okay, no problem. And
Hello.
yes, please.
Hello, Kothari here.
Yes, Kothari sir, boliye.
बस सुना हमने बहुत very good. It was both.
Thank you, sir.
Shivaji also recorded. I heard, and
Thank
this also. You have collected very good information also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for guiding me. In fact, because of your suggestion only, I added Pratap Singh and Ranjit Singh sir.
Yeah, he was a great person. He worshipped in the whole Rajasthan. No?
Yes, sir.
Everywhere his statues are there in every village. And
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Mamta Vasu, you would like to answer? Your phone is unmuted.
I like the session. Some
Yeah, Miss Admin's iPhone. I don't know who is this. If you raise your hand, you can. Host can unmute admins. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Mr. PSK, good evening. I'm Ajay Zodi.
Oh, Ajay, how are you? Thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, good. Very nice presentation. Really motivational it is.
Thank you.
Very inspiring to know our all old legends. Nobody normally talking about them. But if you really go through their qualities and leadership qualities and their, integrity with their people and motivation to their leadership qualities, actually really something to learn out of it. The same qualities we have to understand from it, and we can really use it for our team building.
Yes.
That is a really great. We can just convert it into the present scenario.
Exactly.
For the growth of India, it is just to understand the qualities.
Yeah.
And there is everything into it. It speaks a lot about the things which required now.
Yes.
For our entire growth and
exactly
society point of view.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Ajay.
Yeah.
And that's the reason if you see Ranjit Singh, he had used rifles for all the people. All the
correct. So that shows
yeah.
that his attitude to accept the new technologies and
exactly
to accept the change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was illiterate according to few people. So
correct,
people say that he never schooled. Every time any book I used to get it, they said he never went to school. He never went to school. There is no need to go to school to be a leader.
Correct. Very. It's a born leader, sir. The leader is always born leader.
Exactly. Thank you,
this
Ajay.
comes. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Mamta Vasu, you have unmuted your phone.
Hello.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Your presentation is very nice and useful for our next nowadays.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. No problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions or host? You have seen anybody ask any other questions?
No.
Mr. Venugopal's question, no. They had I answered, I think.
You already answered.
Oh, Gagan Singh has given some information. And during the entire period of Mr. Ranjit Singh's period, no one was given death penalty in his entire kingdom. That is the way he ruled and governed the people, it seems. It's a great news. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, two more people are on. Padmaraja from Saudi Arabia. Yes, please, Padmaraja.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And it's a nice presentation, sir. But if you see many of our attendees, most of the people are feeling all these legends are hidden in our educational syllabus. What I feel, why not we all join together to make some kind of memorandum to the government or make some attempt. I have 2 points. One is, the management skills cannot be taught in the school syllabus.
Yeah.
But in the history, it can be taught in the school syllabus.
Yeah.
But I believe all these management lessons should cover in the management studies in college level, MBA like this. I don't know whether these things are covered there or not.
Correct. Very good point you raised, Mr. Padmaraja. See, what happens is, first a management graduate or the management professor who is going to teach, he should not think that I should take it only from Harvard or Oxford or from Cambridge. They should see our religion. They should see our history. There are many things we have proved beyond doubt to anyone in the world. Okay, but the problem is our people. If the moment you say marketing, you should know about Philip Kotler. That's why I'm saying it to you. What Philip Kotler has done the last 40 years or 50 years, Dhirubhai Ambani has done it in 10-15 years. So studying about Dhirubhai Ambani, practicing it in India, becoming successful and proven is the record. Whereas Zig Ziglar is an author. He writes theories. Anybody can write theory, correct? But implementing and getting result, you have seen, Dhirubhai Ambani, the whole Reliance, maybe 60 years, 55 to 60 years time. from scratch they become the number one in the world with respect to their line of business. So definitely it is a good suggestion. We can think, we can write, and we will share our things. We will work on it definitely. Yes, Mr. Venugopalji, your phone is unmuted.
Hi to everyone.
Yeah.
So this is Venugopal, colleague from Bangalore.
Yeah.
So this topic, this session is very useful for us, and it is self-motivation also. And my point is that, sir, actually all these legends were good in their time, but it was not carry forward to next level. Now where we are now, sir, now those leaders are lived for people. Now most of the leaders live for their own money and self this thing advantage.
Yeah.
So how you are viewing from your point of view when it was transformed from people to money?
See, that's the reason what happens now. When it is why it is going to be, you go to the root cause analysis. I just analyzed as a management point of it. Okay, root cause analysis. How come it has become like this? See, when you see Chola Kingdom, okay, when it was a Chola Kingdom, I'm just taking a Chola Kingdom is known to all of us, so that's the reason I'm taking Chola Kingdom. Okay, Chola Kingdom, if you take it, no, Rajaraja Soran period, or you can take it for Karigal Cholan period. All this period, the wealth was huge. They had enormous amount of money. Okay, so there was no robbery at all. That's why I was telling you. I don't know whether you listened to my Rajaraja Soran lecture. Just imagine bringing 150,000 war prisoners, okay, and making them involved in working and constructing a temple at the capital of Chola, when Chola's entire army is out of Chola Empire, fighting at different parts of the world. And it was managed by only the ladies. So there are three things involved. One is holding 150,000 foreign war prisoners. Anytime they can create a riot, holding them in the capital of their city, when their army is not in entire empire itself, they went out of their empire, okay, for fighting at different places. Third, they're completely managed by ladies and all supported, and all the prisoners with involvement, they did the job. So how it happened? Because they fought with the people of the king only. They never fought with the individuals, citizens of the people. So the respect they have given to all the people is right there. Similarly, when you are looking at all these legends, no, that's the reason even when Maharana Pratap Singh was hiding, because what he did, what is the great quality of Maharana Pratap Singh? The bills used to be considered as to be untouchables, but he has given the respect to them, and the people called him as their son. And what is the love and affection they had, the entire community had towards him. They never allowed Maharana Pratap Singh was captured by anybody else because of their guerrilla war technique and their bow and arrow capabilities. Similarly, you see Ranjit Singh, he is also a person who was never educated, okay, but he is caring for the people. That's the reason some people say that when during his period, Singh Emperor the highest GDP in the world. So all comes revolving around money. But what happens is nowadays, in India especially, we are having a passion, or we are thinking that looking at the outward is the best. So even now today, many people go for studies abroad. I don't want to comment anything about it. You can study abroad, but staying back in abroad and converting themselves as citizen of that country, I don't know what, I don't accept, but I cannot comment on somebody's decision. So this all becomes money oriented. When it becomes money oriented, the human value system going. So the value system, we have to bring it back. That is one of the main reason I'm talking about Indian legends. Okay, because I was thinking that, can I talk about Philip Porter? Can I talk about Edward de Bono? Can I talk about other great legends, Dale Carnegie? So many people are there, they are influencing. They influence me also. But the way at which M.S. Udayamurthy influenced me, definitely those people were never influenced. James Allen, M.S. Udayamurthy took it from James Allen. But I got inspired because of M.S. Udayamurthy. Nobody else has influence like M.S. Udayamurthy, any other foreign authors. So it is better to know about So, Mr. Elangovan from Singapore told one day very clearly during one of my conversation, வரலாறு படைக்காமல் வரலாறை தெரியாமல் வரலாறு படைக்க முடியாதுன்னு சொன்னார். Without knowing history, you cannot create an history. So when I was talking to many of my people, nobody was not knowing the great legends in detail, authenticated information. That's the reason I started, okay, let us not do the same thing which other people are doing it. Let us do something different. So people got shifting their priorities only because of money, and the value system is dying. Unless otherwise we build our value system. You just change the value system. That's enough. Entire generation will change. If you have a son or daughter, ask them to change their value system. Automatically, whole thing will change. Hope I answered you, Mr. Venugopalji. Yeah, thank you so much. In case if we don't have any other questions, we can wind it out. Yeah, I think host, you can wind it off. There is no questions. Thank you so much for everyone.